Phillips. He was a scientist. And I'm telling him about what God has been doing in my life. And he says, you know, he says, you need to come in and share that in our fellowship tonight. I'm thinking, the man is not all there. I said, it took me 2 hours to say something I could say in 20 minutes. I used to stutter. And I'm trying to tell him through my stutter what God is doing. And he says, why don't you come speak at our place tonight? I'm thinking, and I'm sitting on the front row, and they introduced me, and I did not know I would be speaking at all. And I'm thinking, dear God, I'm going to get up there and make a fool of myself because I can't talk. And I had no sermon. All I could talk about is the Holy Spirit. I got on the platform. That was I think was the longest walk I ever took in my life. The longest walk I think I ever took was from the front row to when I preached the first time. And I'm thinking the whole time, how will I speak? They're going to all sit there like, can't talk. I felt a numbness hit my tongue. And I began talking so fast, I had to tell myself, slow down, slow down, slow down. That was the birth of the ministry that happened in quietness. In quietness. There was a lady named Malin Stroud sitting there who had been a member of the church I went to. At the time, I went to 2 churches, morning, evening. In the morning, I would go to Jim McAllister's, evening, Maxwell White's. And she attended both churches. A lot of us would go to the same churches from the group called the Catacombs. The Catacombs was a group of people. Thursday nights, we would all meet at St. Paul's Cathedral. They were all former hippies. It was the Jesus movement, you know. And Mervyn Muller Watson led the group of 3,000 kids. There was 3,000 of us sitting on the floor, most of us. And we would hear people like Lorne Cunningham would come, and Corrie ten Boom came, and Richard Rembrandt, some of the greatest saints would come and minister to us kids. And so Malin Stroud, who's in heaven now, was sitting there, and she was like, she came with me because she had to drive me. I said, would you drive me? I said, I don't have a car. I didn't have a car from Toronto to Oshawa. Yeah, she said, I'll take you. So she's sitting there, and her jaw was like this, you know. The whole time I was speaking, that poor woman was just staring at me. We leave, and she said to me, she said, you didn't stutter. I said, I know. So I get home, she drops me at the house. And I looked up, I said, dear Jesus, what did you do tonight? Jesus, what did you do? And all he said to me is, be faithful to me. That's all he said. He didn't tell me anything. He says, be faithful.